In Kenya's political landscape, few names command as much recognition and emotion as that of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. The son of Kenya's founding president, a man who led the nation for 10 years from 2013 to 2022, navigating economic triumphs, political storms, and global headlines. But beyond the glare of politics, beyond the carefully choreographed public appearances, lies a misery that has quietly intrigued Kenyans for years. Where are Uhuru Kenyatta's children? Why do they live almost entirely out of the public eye in a country where the children of presidents often become household names overnight? Let's go back a few steps. Uhuru Kenyatta and his wife, First Lady Margaret Wanjiru Kenyatta, have 3 children, Jomo, Jaba, and Gina. During his presidency, these names occasionally surfaced, mostly at national ceremonies, private weddings, or charity events. But even then, their appearances were brief, carefully managed, and often shielded from intense media exposure. Unlike the children of other African heads of state who sometimes embrace fame, business ventures, or even politics, the Kenyatta siblings have chosen a path of quiet distance. Let's begin with Jomo Kenyatta, the eldest son, a graduate of a UK university. Jomo was once spotted accompanying his father to several state functions in early years of Uhuru's presidency. In 2016, he made headlines when he married Fiona Achola Ngobi, niece to former cabinet minister Dr. William Oginga. Their wedding was intimate, private, attended by close friends, family, and a handful of political figures. Since then, Jomo has largely stayed away from public attention. No political ambition, no major business declarations, no media interviews. Instead, reports suggest he has focused on managing parts of Kenyatta family business interests discreetly behind closed doors. Then comes Jaba Kenyatta, the second son, perhaps the most mysterious of the 3. Jaba's life is almost completely shielded from view. He is rarely photographed, rarely mentioned in the press, and keeps no visible social media presence. Some sources describe him as a man of quiet routines, choosing to live and work away from the public gaze, possibly abroad. In an age of exposure, Jaba's invisibility has become his identity. And finally, Gina Kenyatta, the youngest for many Kenyans, the most recognizable face among the siblings. Gina was occasionally seen accompanying her mother to charitable initiatives, particularly those linked to Beyond Zero campaign, which focused on maternal health. She was once photographed at youth events, visiting orphanages, and attending national celebrations. But in the recent years, even Gina's public profile has dimmed. In 2022, reports emerged that she had quietly married Sam Bogwa in a private family ceremony. Then, she has too maintained a life away from the limelight, no interviews, no speeches, no public projects. So why the silence? Why have Uhuru Kenyatta's heirs to one of the most recognizable names in Kenya's history chosen to disappear from the public eye? Some analysts point to their father's deliberately parenting philosophy, a desire to separate political power from personal identity. Uhuru Kenyatta throughout his presidency often emphasized the importance of privacy, family, and humility. He rarely involved his children in politics, and the First Lady herself maintained a quiet, disciplined image, avoiding unnecessary media attention. Others believe it's part of a larger strategy to protect the next generation from public scrutiny, controversy, and the polarized opinions that follow powerful families in Kenya's charged political climate. Let's not forget the Kenyatta family is not just political, it's one of the wealthiest dynasties in the country, with vast business interests spanning agriculture, banking, hospitality, and real estate. Their influence runs deep. Remaining out of the public view may also be a means of preserving family security and controlling narratives in an era of digital gossip, misinformation, and online attacks. In a world where public figures are constantly dissected, photographed, and criticized, the Kenyatta children's silence has become their strongest statement. Perhaps their story is not one of misery, but of choice, a deliberate decision to live privately, to define their lives beyond politics, beyond fame, beyond the shadow of the State House. Maybe after all, Kenya's most famous political family is teaching a quiet lesson, that legacy isn't always about visibility. Sometimes it's about dignity, discretion, and peace. So while the question, where are Uhuru Kenyatta's children, lingers in whispers and speculation, the answer may simply be, they are right where they choose to be, out of sight.